5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Acer Predator League 2019 Sri Lankan qualifiers. We have Team Undefined taking on Team Origins. I'm not entirely sure who the two teams are exactly, since most of the players are quite new to me. But hopefully it will be an interesting game. And of course, for everyone who is watching, this is a 800,000 prize pool tournament, which is the highest that we have had for any Dota 2 tournament in the country, which is insane. So it just goes to show how much Dota has been developing inside the country and how much all the sponsors have been doing to make sure that, you know, Dota is at this stage where you have like an 800k prize pool for a tournament. And hats off to Acer for making sure that we have that opportunity. So getting into the draft, first phase, ban a Pudge. It's a very Sri Lankan favored hero. A lot of newer teams, a lot of mid-level teams in the country love to play this hero. They pull it out of the bag at the, you know, when it's unexpected, and they tend to demolish most of the time because they're up against equal level team. But I definitely do not think it's ban-worthy. There are way stronger heroes right now in the patch. The likes of Dazzle, Grimstroke, Centaur, Axe. It's just it's like a massive hero pool where it can be used in the patch, which are just insanely strong. Void is basically a ban, you know, if you're planning on picking something that, you know, gets countered by the Void, then I do understand it, but banning him this early in the ban phase just allows the other team to just ban him off. And Team Origins bans the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor has been kind of a popular hero in the Sri Lankan scene. I haven't seen him a lot internationally, but seems to be quite a favored hero for the Sri Lankan teams. At least in this tournament, I have been seeing him a lot. And Yoga, of course, is in general a very strong hero. It's a very flexible pick. It can go on the offlane. It can be played fourth. It can be played fifth. It's just a very, you know, very flexible pick if you do want to go for him. So they do pick up the Grimstroke. Like I said, an extremely strong laner, really strong in team fight. You have a double silence with that ultimate, and basically whatever he uses afterwards also goes into the other target as well. So it's just an insane ultimate, and even the laning stage with his I forget the spells, his second skill, which basically you run at the hero and it just stuns in an AoE, which is really strong. It got nerfed a bit from the initial time that the hero was released when he was invulnerable during that period, but it is still really strong. And Team Origins opens up with a very huge wombo combo type to pick up. So it's going to be the Sand King Magnus. It's going to be interesting to see whether it's a mid Magnus or a support Magnus, or whether it's an offlane Sand King or a support Sand King. It depends on how they want to run it. Again, it's a very flex. The draft is very open when they do pick the Magnus and the Sand King together. I don't really like the opening, but it doesn't give away too much of their draft to the other side. And you don't want to give a hero like Sand King with the Grimstroke, which just becomes insanely strong, that lane. But they do have the Center Warner that Team Undefined can pick up, which is, again, a very strong lane. A Grimstroke Center is just insanely strong. In the laning stage, there is very... who do we have as a carry that can actually lane? I really don't see a carry who lanes effectively against that. Probably the Void. Void, due to the time walk, is able to negate most of the damage that it takes. So he's okay in the lane against that matchup. But other than that, any carry that goes into the lane is going to have a really bad time. Probably Gyro. Gyro is, I think, fairly okay. Survives with a little bit of backup. I mean, you can match it up with a Gyro, Winter Wyvern, or IO, or maybe like a Dazzle Juggernaut, who is also really strong against any matchup that they run into. So they do ban on the Terrorblade and the Juggernaut, realizing Jug is extremely strong with the Magnus, obviously. And PA is still open for both teams. I think PA for Team Undefined is really good, just due to the fact that you have the amp on Slada, and basically very hard hero to catch. This is a very strong hero right now, and the fact that you have a Slada on the team just, you know, amps up the damage that the PA will be doing in his fights. So they do ban on the Lion and the Tinker. So Tinker ban. So a lot of Sri Lankan teams don't know how to deal with the Tinker, so they end up banning him, including the top tier teams. They don't like to play up against the Tinker because it's very annoying, very hard hero to catch when he does have a decent laning stage.
10
So
seconds
I
remaining.
minimize for a moment. Yeah, so like I was saying, Tinker, yeah,
5
if
seconds
the Tinker has a
remaining.
decent laning stage, he gets a lot of farm, and then it's very hard to catch and very hard to deal with. But I've been watching a few reviews or how do you say walkthroughs on different heroes and how to counter on YouTube, and Tinker
Radiant
isn't that hard
team
of a hero to counter. It just
Phantom
depends on the matchup
Assassin.
that you're up against. You can get someone like a Queen of Pain to destroy the Tinker in the lane. Not as easy as it used to be those days when the towers did not have that great of a vision, or it was not that close to the river. Previously, the towers were very far away from the river, or it didn't have that big of a range. So the Queen of Pain can just outlane the Tinker hands down. Visage is not a
10
hero that
seconds
just
remaining.
completely destroys
Dire
Tinker if you
team
really want to
pick.
go for it. Ember is fairly okay. You have TA who also doesn't do too bad against the Tinker because your side blades do not get cancelled by the laser, so you are still able to hit the side blades even though you're not getting any damage off on the target that you actually hit, which is also, it's a matchup dependent. So then you
10
have Storm
seconds
again to
remaining.
counter the Tinker in lane. Then basically as soon as Storm hits
5
level 6, the
seconds
Tinker is just
remaining.
going to die in the lane with maybe +1 hero there. And so yeah, basically that was my grievance with the Tinker being banned. Like a lot of teams do it.
Pick.
Even the top tier teams in the country, they just ban off the Tinker. And right now the draft from Team Origin looks really strong. They have PA with the Magnus and Dazzle to back up the PA in the laning stage. And a Bristleback really does not do anything. This is a hero that a lot of Sri Lankan teams like to play, but which I don't understand, because that hero is just tanky, man. Like it's pretty much useless other than just winning the laning stage. Even in the pro scene, I don't think we have seen a Bristleback in ages. Like I cannot remember the last time that I saw a Bristleback in a pro game. It's just basically a useless hero. Yeah, his laning stage is fairly strong, but for that also, if for that to happen, the Bristleback actually has to gain like at least 3 levels in the lane. And if the two heroes on the side of Team Origins can zone out the Bristleback at like level 1 and 2, that hero is just going to fall off completely. And he's not going to do anything because you just keep on getting doe under. And Dazzle is not too bad of a hero to deal with the Bristleback in the lane with the poison touch. It just it keeps on resetting the poison touch, does a lot of damage over time, which is the type of damage that you need against Bristleback. So essentially, Bristleback counters are heroes like Lifestealer, Jakiro in the lane is very strong against Bristleback. Wild Survivor is okay because you can zone the Bristleback out at the first 2 levels. Dazzle is also another hero who can do that. So I think the draft from Team Origin looks very strong right now. And Team Undefined Open gets a Lifestealer. So they do have a Lifestealer bomb carrier with the Slada. Yeah, they do have the combo, but other than that, I don't really see much from this pick. It can man fight the PA depending on the farm that they have. But if the Lifestealer is man fight in the PA, you're running into Magnus RP, Epicenter, there's a lot, and there's always a grave to save.
10 seconds remaining.
So Team Undefined is looking for their mid hero now, so it's going to be offlane Bristleback, support Slaughter, and Grimstroke. They are looking for their mid hero. They do ban out the shooter. Stormsplit has been banned from Team Origins. Stormsplit would have actually been really good for Team Undefined because it gives another Lifestealer bomb, basically a Lifestealer carrier. And does well against heroes like the Dazzle because you want to kill Dazzle off at the start of the fight, and Storm just closes the gap immediately and picks him off. So
5 seconds remaining.
Waiting on the mid hero, they do have quite a bit of reserve time left, around 1 minute and 10 seconds, so they can actually think about this before going for their pick. Who can they go for? They have OD, which isn't too bad, I think. Yeah, they need someone late game carry, or they need someone early that they can snowball with. They need someone really strong late or someone really early to snowball with. They can't have like this mid game hero in the middle lane. I think Puck is kind of okay, gives a fair amount of burst damage against the Dazzle PA. So they do go with the Invoker. They go with the Invoker in this phase. Unless you're a really good Invoker player, it can get countered here because they do have heroes to counter the Invoker right now. In the mid lane, you can get a multitude of heroes that just destroys the invoker in the laning stage. So
10 seconds remaining.
it's a very skill based hero. It's very hard to lane with.
5
Unless
seconds
you're really good with the hero, you're going to have a hard time. But having said that, they do have a Grimstroke and Slada who can rotate, help out the invoker, set up for those Sunstrike kills in the laning stage. You have open wounds into Grimstroke Slow or Slada Sun to set up those Sunstrike kills. So if the invoker can get off those early kills or early pickoffs with the Sunstrike, they will be able to do it, and it gives them so much of late game potential also with this hero. It's just insane. So they pick up the Razor, which is really good, right? Because he deals well with the invoker in the lane and just outright counters the lifestealer. You just static link him and he's basically negligent during the entire fight. So it's a really good pickup from Team Origins. Their draft looks well rounded up, countering each lane very well. I think their top lane is going to be a bit hard though. The Sand King Magnus, but I don't think the Sand King should die in that lane. He's going to be able to get a decent amount of levels and farm. Or if it's a Sand King who is it might be a mid Magnus also, since the the name of the Magnus plays mid or feed, so it might be a mid Magnus. And an offlane Razor, which is also fine. I think Razor offlane, it's okay because again they don't have kill potential on the Razor as soon as you start killing the lifestealer. But if the Razor is against the invoker, I don't think invoker has a good time. He just needs one movement speed item and just completely destroys the invoker. It's going to be very hard for him to last it, very hard for him to stay in the lane. And now you don't have to get up and close to slow the invoker down. You just use plasma field and you get slowed on both waves, up and down. So it allows you to close the gap and just steal a lot of damage. And invoker is a hero that lacks damage to begin with. I definitely like Team Origins draft, but we'll have to wait and see how the lanes pan out. It will all come down to the laning stage. I think if the Radiant team has a good laning stage, they will be able to snowball with the lifesteal, Slada and Grimstroke, because they're three very strong heroes. So introducing the teams on the Radiant side, we have Victim. On the Slada, we have Lich, Wise Lich or West Lich, I don't know. West Lich on the Grimstroke, Penguin on the Bristleback, Toxic playing the mid invoker, and the position 1 lifestealer being played by Death. And on the Dire side, we have Lokio playing the Dazzle, mid off feed on the Magnus, BST on the Phantom Assassin on the position 1, Shadow on the Sand King, and Mage on that mid Razor, I assume. Oh wait, no, he has bought his own tango, so it might actually be. Hasn't he shared any tangos? Picking on heroes. His shared tangos to the PA, so it might actually be a PA mid. So, I actually forgot about this. PA also destroys the invoker in the laning stage. You just get like level 2 and jump on the invoker. Invoker cannot do anything, and PA with that attack speed that he gets from the level 2 and the amount of damage that he does, as well as, Stifling Dagger being a spammable skill, invoker is not going to have a good time. It's a good counter for sure, and invoker isn't able to burst down the PA just because of the fact that he's going to be able to blink out of these meteoroid combinations and stuff. So it's definitely a good matchup for the PA, and it's not going to take a lot of harass from the invoker as well with the blur being active. So definitely a good lanes. I think let's see where the Razor might be a safe lane Razor with the Dazzle. Against the Bristleback, it is also okay. I think they're laning this really well. They're realizing their potential and switching up the lanes accordingly, which is what should happen. I mean, nothing in Dota is set in stone. You can try out multiple things. That's why this game is so good. That's why people keep on playing it. Whether you win or lose, it's very addictive just because of the fact that it has so much of versatility and so many ways to express yourself. So we do have the game resumed. So it's going to be that Magnus Sand King offlane with the Razor safe lane Dazzle and the PA going on to the mid lane. It's going to be interesting to see whether they are going to contest any runes. I think both teams have the capability of contesting runes if they really want to. Bristleback seems to be AFK in base right now. Pause maybe? Yes, there you go. the pause does come out. The Bristleback seems to have been AFK there for a moment. Okay, go is the call, and the game is resumed back. Bristleback seems to be back. Standard pickups, he should probably get himself another set of tangos. 3 tangos definitely is not going to be enough in this lane against the Razor Dazzle. With this hero, just go for a lot of regen, because I don't know what he's going for with that extra 130 gold. It doesn't do a lot to him. He prefer to have more regen rather than holding on to anything else. So Grimstroke has a ward on him, hasn't skilled up anything. Lifesteal, the same story. Magnus, both teams are holding on to their skill points. This is something that we see, good players doing. So we know that they're not your everyday players. They have a decent idea of what the game is and how to play the game. So runes are going to be traded off. Both teams are not going to contest, which is very strange because you tend to contest, because if one of the teams contested the runes, the other team would have lost one of the runes. So which means that you're giving away 3 runes to the other side rather than getting a 2-2 trade off. That's mainly the reason why that you contest one enemy rune, so that you get like 2 runes secured for sure, rather than only getting 1. So PA does get off a really good block on the mid lane, which is going to help him a lot. Definitely going to be putting Invoker in trouble. But I think the matchup has to be played in a way that you push the wave into the Invoker, because Invoker has really bad base damage to be last hitting. It just allows the PA to be able to deny him under his own tower, stops the Invoker getting any sort of farm in the lane. But already we can see Invoker has taken a lot of damage with this PA. And the creeps that he was pulling onto himself, because he aggroed the creeps and was not de-aggroing the creeps. Little mistakes that a lot of people make. As soon as you aggro the creeps onto yourself by attacking the enemy, you need to de-aggro as well, otherwise you're going to take a lot of damage. Dazzle, basically doing Dazzle things. He should be hitting the Slaughter, because you need to keep on resetting Poison Touch as much as possible to get off the most amount of damage. Standard lanes, both lanes don't seem to be that aggressive. I think top lane should be a little bit more aggressive because they can afford to be. Yeah, they might actually go for this. Yeah, they do have the static lane. He uses it on the Bristleback, but he's moving away where he should have been moving towards. And the Bristleback is out of mana. He does have 1 mango, but it's not going to be enough mana regen to keep him healthy in the lane. Multiple mangoes in the lane would have much better, I think. Stout Shield and multiple mangoes from the mangoes as well. Mid lane seems to be even between the 2 heroes, which shouldn't be happening. I think the PA definitely should be dominating that matchup rather than playing it equal. CS wise, he is a little bit ahead. He should be getting off more denies, because Invoker seems to be getting a decent amount of denies and last hit out of the lane, which shouldn't be happening. A random Christmas tree is being planted from the, the Frostivus. They're trying to do a little bit of damage onto the Slaughter. Slaughter might be in a little bit of trouble here, but there is no boot on the... But actually with the Poison Touch, he's actually going to take down here. Oh, no, he survives. I think 1 more hit would have been needed there. I think Razor needs to get like a Windlace or a boot ASAP to just completely destroy this lane. And of course a completed Magic Wand against a Bristleback always. Interesting thing is, since the Lifestealer isn't pressured in the lane, the Grimstroke has just opted to pull and farm the entire time. Which is okay, because you're trading up, you're getting farm on 2 heroes rather than just getting farm on 1 hero, since your carry is not pressured at all. And Sand King Magnus is not the best duo to be pressuring. Probably if the Sand King was farming in the lane, they could have done pressured more, for sure, with the Caustic. But since Sand King cannot be hitting creeps and pushing the wave in, the Magnus who is farming in the lane. And Lifestealer is just having a very jolly time. He has only 1 tango left though. but with the feast up, he should be okay. He's gone for 2 levels of rage, which is unseen. So mana usage has to be like, you know, better, because they were not going for kill. So what do you call, the Phantom Embrace doesn't really make sense there. It's just a lot of damage. Meanwhile, on the top lane, there might be a kill onto the Bristleback. Bristleback, a couple of more hits, but he is going to be able to walk it off and salve up as well. I think the target should be the Slada. You just drain damage from the Bristleback while going after the Slada, and not drain damage and go after the Bristleback himself. Because he's the tankier hero out of the two, and you want kills in the lane, not just zoning them out. Game has been paused again, and Invoker is actually ahead in last hits right now, which is questionable to say the least. PA should be definitely winning this lane. So connection issues for the Bristleback, hopefully will be back shortly. So reminder, this is the Acer Predator League 2019 Sri Lankan qualifiers. We are up on to day number, I lost count. Today is Friday, we started on Saturday, so this is day number 7. Had a few interesting games for sure. We had some long drawn games, as well as some games that were completely stomps. But as the tournament has been going on, games have definitely been getting more even between the teams. Obviously, the better teams are moving forward, so the games are definitely going to be getting much better. And obviously, that 800k prize pool, as well as a chance to represent Sri Lanka in the Acer Predator League in Bangkok, if I'm not mistaken, it's definitely on the line. Favorites, of course, for the tournament, Indomitus from Phoenix Gaming, undefeated in the last year. I don't think any team, I don't think they lost a game at all. So definitely the favorites in the tournament, but we see a lot of strong teams coming up, newly formed teams as well, roster switchers here and there. So we have the likes of Death Sentence, who will be a strong contender to Indomitus. Indomitus in the grand finals. If they do make it that far, then you have the likes of Victoria's Secret, we have Infinity Gaming, we have Bedtime Samurais, we have Team Tempest, a multitude of really strong teams in the Dota scene. It's not completely dominated by 3 or 4 teams like it used to be a couple of years back. So it's anyone's game for sure. It just takes one game with a draft that, you know, outdraft your opponent, especially if you're against a better team. You just need to outdraft them, and you have that high percentage chance of winning the game. Because as I always say, the game of Dota, 80% of the game is decided basically on the draft itself. Next of it like comes down to how you play the matchup, especially if you're close to the skill level. Even if the other team is better and better than you, if you're close to that, you know, skill tier, or if you can match with a better drive, if you can match the skill tier on the other side, it's definitely anyone's game at that point. So 80% of the game definitely is on the draft, and if you're an evenly matched team, then 100% the entire game is on the draft, and everything else just comes down to small mistakes that you might tend to make during the game, or rotations, or the opponent outthinking you at a certain given point. But definitely like 80% of the game is based on the draft itself. And right now, definitely the Dire team has the better draft, so we'll have to wait and see. Their mid lane is not going as expected. The PA should have been crushing, but still the PA is getting farmed. It's not like the PA is getting crushed either, so it's fine. And the PA is going to be having the Magnus Empower to back him up as well, so it's a lot of farm and a lot of damage potential coming out from them. And a lot of team fight potential with that RP epicenter. And the team fight potential on the side of Radiant is just basically the Invoker Grimstroke, right? Because if the Grimstroke gets off a really good ult with the silence, the Invoker is going to be doing so much of damage. And the Invoker is doing such a good job of just zoning the PA out right now with that force rate. A deathless game, which at the 5-minute mark, not something that you see in the current patch. It's mainly due to the fact that, you know, both teams, the heroes that they have picked are not really, you know, kill oriented, I think the top lane is where the action should have been. I think Dazzle and the Razor should have been killing the Slaughter more than they are doing right now. At least, like, they haven't killed at all, which is questionable for sure. They should have been doing a lot more. But they have shut down the Bristleback quite well, sitting at 12 last hit to the 24 on the Razor. And he doesn't have that many levels. He's sitting at level 3. Slaughter still at level 2, so they're definitely winning that lane, but they should be winning it harder than they are right now. Bottom lane, stagnated Magnus ahead in last hits against the Lifestealer, but you expect your safe lane not to do too well. But you expect your off lane to do well, but neither of it is happening. So we do see that, you know, the only lane that is, like, you know, doing as doing better than expected is the mid lane, where the Invoker is actually ahead of the PA. So waiting for the Bristleback to reconnect. So I was watching one of these DOTA alchemy videos. If you are a DOTA player, I'm pretty sure you follow most of these guides on YouTube and channels on YouTube related to DOTA. So DOTA alchemy is a very interesting site where this guy speaks about how you can improve your gameplay on different aspects. And today there was a video that I saw on how each of the MMR brackets play their mid lane, and how your camera positioning is super important, how your positioning in the lane is important, and the minute one, what you do at minute one, basically, whether you block your creep wave or go and contest the rune, or whether you contest the rune and get back in time for the block as well. So what happens is, most of the mid laners, which I think it's very common in the Legend Ancient bracket, and I'm pretty sure below that also it's something that they do, they stay on the mid lane for a really long time to get that block off, right? So what he was suggesting is that you have a downtime, like a 1 minute, where the game is about to start. So what you do is, without waiting until it is close to the rune spawn time, you go into their jungle, you take a fight. And if the fight goes well, you get a kill. If it doesn't, you back off and you get back into your lane. But you need to make sure as a mid laner you don't take a lot of damage and you don't have to expend your regen going into the lane. It's just basically you go with a 3-man or 4-man rotation into the enemy jungle, because you're 100% sure that you have the numbers, and you go there early so that you get back into the middle lane in time to block the creep wave as well. Or if you know that you have a strong matchup mid, you just don't block the creep wave at all. Especially say if it's a matchup like an Invoker coming mid, if the Invoker blocks the creep wave up to his tower, he's not actually going to have a really good time, because he has a hard time blasting on the tower. So, you know, things like that, very small things, you know, differentiates the very high tier, you know, immortal level players with the Legend instant tier bracket. So little things, interesting videos for sure on YouTube. There's a lot that you can learn. So top lane, we do have the first blood, realizing that the Bristleback, well, I'm really sorry, I trailed off there for a moment and did not realize there was a fight happening top lane, but the Razor combined with the Dazzle was able to take down the Slaughter in the absence of the Bristleback, who seems to be lagging quite a bit. He disconnected yet again. I seems to be having a lot of connection issues for him. Sri Lankan ISPs are generally good. I mean, they do have their times where, you know, certain times, like, right, you see it right now, where you have random spikes or a disturbance in a certain area. But other than that, I think majority of the connections are really, really good. I mean, you have the likes of Dialog and SLT. SLT has their fiber line, which is, again, a very stable connection, but you do see issues. We do see people posting stuff. And we have Dialog with their 4G connection. I'm on a Dialog 4G connection, and it's really good, right? But it has certain times during the peak time, which is expected. It's a mobile connection during peak time, where, you know, the ping gets a little bit high. But other than that, I think the ISPs in Sri Lanka, for a country like Sri Lanka, are doing a really great job in providing good internet connections for the gamers to game on. And the major two ISPs, which is Dialog and SLT, has been doing a lot of work to optimize their connection to the servers that these games are played on, because both these companies have been doing a lot to promote esports in the country and have had multiple tournaments inside the country promoting esports. So they have done the work to optimize the connection path or the routing paths for these games as much as possible. That's why we are able to experience pings of around 50-60, which might seem high to players from other countries, but in Sri Lanka it's actually very decent to have around 50-60 ping stable. I mean, it's amazing. A couple of years back, we used to play at like 100-120 ping, so it's amazing to see how far it has come. Waiting for the Bristol back to reconnect. And for those of you who are joining from home, remind again, this is the Acer Predator League 2019 Sri Lankan qualifiers with an 800k prize pool. Winners, of course, will be representing Sri Lanka in the Acer Predator League in Bangkok. So amazing opportunities from Acer for having a Sri Lankan qualifier and allowing a Sri Lankan DOTA team to be able to compete at the highest tier, where all the top teams in South Asia will be competing at the Acer Predator League in Bangkok. So to be able to go up against the best of the best in SCA is a huge opportunity that Acer is providing. So hats off for them for doing the work that is necessary to develop esports in the country. The Bristleback seems to have reconnected. So on the topic of Acer, something interesting. As far as I know, they have the most expensive laptop for gaming as well as the best performing laptop. It is insane. It's very expensive, mind you. It has to be with the specs that it's carrying. It's a $9,000 gaming laptop, but it has a Core i7 8th gen quad core processor, like 1080 SLI. So you have basically two 1080 cards in that laptop, and 64 GB of RAM, which is insane for a laptop. Like basically the fact that you have two 1080s SLI itself is just enough. Those 1080 cards are super expensive, and having all of this compacted into one laptop. Mind you, the laptop is also quite big. It's very bulky, but it has a mechanical keyboard as well on it, and it's just basically a desktop level performance on a laptop. It's just insane, and it has a curved display as well, which you don't see every day. It's basically up there, it's very out there. It's very expensive. It's very hard to buy, but it's some next generation gaming laptop. I don't think any other company has a gaming laptop of that tier. So the game has been resumed. Bristleback still seems to be having trouble. He disconnected again and is heading back to base. The Radiant team might have to continue the game without him, which is really sad. Would have been a really interesting game. But right now, they are definitely not having that good of a time. Other than the mid lane, every other lane is not doing too great. Magnus is getting a lot of farm. PA seems to be, getting there. Sadly enough, he's not getting any crits off on these daggers that he's throwing out on the Invoker. So Invoker is going for the combination on the PA. PA manages to blink out and he is gonna be safe. So this is what we were talking about. Invoker loves this, tornado, cold snap tornado meteorite combination, and not being able to get it off. And this is the time that the PA should be aggressive, right? Because Invoker does not have the combination, and his spells are on cooldown for a really long time because he invoked twice in front of the PA. As soon as you do that and you know that what the spells that the Invoker has, yeah, so when the Invoker uses two spells and you know that he does not have Invoker on CD, and if it's two spells that he cannot be, doesn't have kill potential, maybe like an Alacrity and a Forge Spirit or something, which doesn't really give him kill potential because you can always just walk out of it, or something like having Sunstrike and Alacrity. His Invoker is going to be on CD for 6 seconds, right? That 6-second opening is where the PA jumps in, gets a couple of right clicks off, pray for a crit, and do a bit of damage and get back out. and Invoker just needs to regen back afterwards. So it is going to be a 4v5 match by the looks of it, because the Bristleback cannot reconnect into the game. You might see a rotation mid lane. Sand King is walking mid. PA with the dart is going to allow the Sand King to get the impel off. The PA jumps in, but is he going to be able to get it? He does not have Invoker. He has the Invoke now if he wants to use Ghost, but he's holding on to it. The Slaughter chip is in with the sprint. Get back is the call from the Invoker, rightly so. The Invoker did with the Slaughter chip, probably been able to turn it out into a kill. And Invoker, they are very careful with his invoke. He did not blindly invoke the Ghost Rock as soon as someone jumped on him. He was holding it on up until the last moment, realizing that they are going to have to dive under the tower to kill him. And he preferred to have a skill up his sleeve to be able to help him get a return kill if they did dive the tower. So Lifestealer has opted to go into the jungle, going in for a Midas, which I honestly do not like. I mean, it got buffed, but if you're having Midas level farm, you just rush your Radiance, just farm faster. You're spending a lot of gold, which takes a really long time to recover, and you don't want the game going that late either with that Bristol. I mean, oh, they are actually going on to the mid lane again, but the dart is on the range creep, but the impel is going to be there in time. Dazzle with the dust as well. Heads up play from him, bringing it in. Invoker with the Tornado Meteorite, holding everyone in place, but the Invoker is going to be in trouble. The poison touch is still on him. One more dart. Oh, but a lovely Deafening Blast. They took way too long. Sandkin trying to go on streets. That should have been a kill. They just played it very, very bad. For example, that initial dart that he used on the creep should have been on the Invoker. Might have been the difference between a kill and not. And now the Razor is playing a little bit aggressive. Slaughter getting a lot of his damage stolen. He's going to turn around onto the Grimstroke, but he does not have the movement speed. He does have the face put cooling off, and he's going to be able to get this kill. One more right click away. Going to be enough. He does have the plasma field as well, and that is going to be a dead Grimstroke. The thing with Razor is a very strong laner. He tends to fall off in the late game, but with the matchup that he has on the Dire team, I mean the Radiant team, he should be okay. And a Sunstrike. Where was the Sunstrike? Hello? Oh, how did he spot that out even? That was a complete blind Sunstrike. Next level plays from the Invoker. So top lane again, Dazzle rotating in from around. The Slaughter is going to be in trouble. They are keeping their distance. They need the face put up. They are going to chase this. Slaughter needs to be careful. There's a plasma field coming off. Cooldown in another 3 seconds. He should be able to get this kill. The Sunstrike flies out and does not land onto the Dazzle, so he's going to be safe. And the Slaughter goes down. Meanwhile, Impel onto the Grimstroke. Grimstroke needs to be careful. He's getting chased down. The PA is rotating in here as well with the dart, and this is going to be an easy peasy kill. Oh no, but the Invoker wants to turn around with the Meteorite. Deafening Blast combination. I mean, sorry, the Meteorite Cold Snap combination there. But is not able to get the kill onto the PA. And in the meantime, Slaughter respawns back up and is going to go after the Sand King. PA gets taken out in the meantime by the Invoker. And now the Razor wants to chase this. Magnus joins the fight with the Square as well. He does have the Blink Dagger cooling off. But that's basically going to be it for the fight. So they do lose the PA, and the Radiant team lose nothing in that engagement, which is really good for them. Especially, oh, Sunstrike flies out. Where is it going to be? It was onto the Dazzle, but Dazzle walking back up. Does not land. Probably would have killed him with that Sunstrike as well. Yeah, for sure. Definitely killed him. So while all this is happening, the Lifestealer is free farming. He does have his Midas up. He's looking to pick up that Radiance, which is, I think, a must right nowadays on Lifestealer. He's a hero that farms really, really slow. So he needs that early, you know, Radiance to be able to farm up very fast. And it isn't a bad item against heroes like the PA and the Razor as well. So probably the Solar Crest Radiance is going to be the build for him. But since he went for the Midas, this is going to be extremely late. Game has been paused again. Bristleback has reconnected back, but I mean, he's not going to be able to do anything. He's level 3 right now. Unless he gets a solo kill off randomly or enters the fight to clean up something and gets like a lot of EXP, he's basically not going to be doing anything. They have moved him onto the top lane. They are trying to contest, you know, try and get a few levels on him and get a bit of farm on him because he's so far behind. So a bit of warding being done. Slaughter using the sprint. They shouldn't be trying to engage right now. They should be farming this because they don't have the kill potential. Bristleback is so under-leveled. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they are trying to look for a pick-off onto this lifesteal. They can actually do it. They had the RP and the epicenter to follow up. Like, if you impale an RP, it's going to be enough time for the Sand King to get off his epicenter without the lifesteal getting his rage off. And afterwards, you just right-click him down. But we do see the PA rotating in as well. So we have the epicenter being casted. The Storm misses completely. They are not going to use the RP. And the lifesteal are not even using rage there. I'm not sure what that was all about. That was very strange. He had enough and more time to use the rage. And a kill just given away basically. And on the top lane, they are going to be diving the Bristleback. Bristleback so under-leveled and so under-farmed. It's just going to be completely destroyed. The Invoker is TPing in here. They want to try and find. They do find the Dazzle here. Dazzle using the Grave on himself. The Invoker with the Cyclone into the Sunstrike is going to be able to get that clean kill. And now, oh my god, the damage on the Grimstroke is going to get taken out by the Razor. And Razor with that damage still is just very strong right now. Sitting at a lot of farm, has the drums picked up, sitting at 2.3k gold. 6,000 in net worth, I mean, not sorry, 7,000 in net worth, ahead by 1k of the Invoker, who is the most farmed on the side of the Radiant side. I realize I say a lot of redundant things. So meanwhile, while all this is happening, the PA is happily farming. He is sitting at 5.6k net worth, looking to pick up the Desolator because he doesn't really need the Battle Fury just because of the fact that he does have the Magnus in his team, so he doesn't really need it. And yet again, the Bristleback, I'm sorry, this time it's actually the Razor who disconnects. Okay, this Razor seems to have reconnected back up. So you guys are joining us for the Acer Predator League 2019 Sri Lankan qualifiers. 8K people on the line with the winners representing Sri Lanka in the Acer Predator League main event in Bangkok. I think the land finals for the Sri Lankan qualifiers is somewhere in January. I think 14th, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not entirely sure, but that's yet to be announced. So we'll have to wait and see. I think it's on the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. Go is the call from the Dazzle. Let's see. Yep. So we do have the game underway, and I think I just checked the pings on the Bristleback. It has settled down, so he should be okay for the most part of the game now. So we have the Slaughter and the Grimstroke walking into the Sand King. Oh, the smoke immediately broken. They do spot him out. But I mean, Magnus had RP, right? Oh, he doesn't have the mana for it. Okay, makes sense now. Or else they should have gone for it. So Slada is still smoked. PA needs to be careful. He's in enemy territory, but no one can see him. Obviously, this blur making you invisible even while hitting creeps. It's just goddamn insane, man. It goes back to the old PA who was there. Who cannot be seen unless a hero is nearby. From the DOTA 1 days that it was known as Mortared those days rather than Phantom Assassin. It's a good board placement here from the Dazzle, getting that high ground vision. The Dire team is actually converging on this mid tower. They realize that they are very strong and they can pressure up a couple of towers. I'm waiting for the Sand King to the with the blinking initiation. So the problem that the Radiant team has is there are no methods of initiating other than the Invoker right now, because the Slaughter does not have a dagger. He's just sitting with two Razors, and he's not getting his blink dagger anytime soon. So they really don't have any way of initiating into these team fights, which is going to be giving away a free tier 1 tower to the Dire team, who is right now 6k ahead in net worth at the 17-minute mark. And the pings are on the mid tier 2 as well. I mean, they are strong, they can do it if they really want to. Top lane needs to be careful, they are converging. The Sand King does not have the dagger, he's actually going for a Vanguard. He's cast in the epicenter and he's going to be walking forward, which is questionable to say the least, but they are going to be able to get this kill onto the Bristleback, and I don't really think that was worth it on a very underleveled, underfarmed Bristleback. Committing the epicenter, they should have been able to get it without. And even otherwise, I think he should have impelled in and then casted epicenter, because you have the Raze that's plus 1 field to slow the Bristleback down as well. He cannot really run away from the epicenter.
Radiant's top tower is under
So with that, they are going to be pressuring this tier 2 tower top lane, and Magnus with their blink dagger RP up as well. The PA is around the area also. They are prepped to take a fight if the Radiant team comes to defend this. Wow, the damage on, what do you call it, the Stroke of Fate. I still don't know the skill names of Grimstroke, sadly enough. I haven't played the hero as much. I have not played the hero at all. I think I have 1 game maybe on the Grimstroke, or 2, maybe. So tier 2 tower almost down, basically 400 HP left. The PA has gone back into the jungle to farm. He realizes that he's not needed, that the team is very strong even without him. Even without the epicenter being up, they are very far ahead. It's going to be an easy peasy tier 2 tower on this top lane.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh, the Slaughter might run in. He uses a sprint. Was thinking about it, but immediately as soon as he lost vision, right choice. He cannot engage. I think a blink dagger is a must if they want to take an engagement. So now the Dire team is going to head on over to the middle lane, the middle tier 3 tower here, tier 2 tower. They do know where the PA is. Actually, sorry, they do catch out the Slaughter who was trying to rotate in from behind. Invoker needs to be careful. He uses the Cyclone already, uses the Ice Path as well. And now the Grimstroke is going to get taken out immediately as well. Lifestealer going up into the PA. Again, the Sand King with his epicenter not doing anything at all. But, I mean, it's okay. It's not really necessary for the Dire team at this point, so it doesn't really matter. He went for a Vanguard. I mean, if you have the Blink Dagger, it makes sense to cast the Epicenter and go in, but without a Blink, just casting Epicenter and walking forward. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was only like one pulse which had hit the Lifestealer there.
That's for me.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So tier 2 bottom lane has also been taken out. The net worth lead up to 9k right now. Looks a very daunting task for the Radiant team to come back into this game. I think Invoker needs to make some really sick plays for them to be able to, you know, turn this game around. Like he needs his level 20 with Cataclysm, and you know, just like get off a huge combination and take out maybe the PA and the Razor, you know, to have a chance of coming back into this game. But right now they are all very farmed. 2 Vanguards on the side of Dire team, both very chunky. I would prefer the Magnus not going for a Vanguard there, because the Sand King could have easily gone in for a Crimson. Or maybe a Pipe. I think a Pipe would have been a better choice, because most of the damage that they're taking right now is going to be magical. Even because the Lifesteal is actually going for Radiance instead of, you know, heavy right-click damage. Or they do spot the Magnus out with the Ice Path as well as the EMP. But immediate Arcane Boots to, you know, get them back up to full HP. Sand King is spotted here. I don't know whether they have vision. Sand King is actually stuck here. Oh, he manages to get out. So PA is still farming away freely, sitting here. Oh, he does catch out the Slaughter. He doesn't want to jump, obviously. He would get stunned immediately. If it that critted on the dart, maybe, probably, they could have gone for a kill. But without it doing so, no chance at all. That team is playing a very disciplined game. Not diving in unnecessarily, playing it very safe when taking these towers even. Not tanking tower hits, waiting for the creep wave. Just playing the game at their own pace rather than, you know, trying to rush the game.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And I think right now they should, like, you know, head back in to the Roshan pit and take Roshan on the PA or the Razor, and then try to take high ground, because you're still running into an Invoker. Invoker gets one good combination off, that's basically your fight. So need to be careful. I think Roshan, the safest choice right now is to go do Rosh, come back. They have the Desolator on the PA, they have the Magnus Empower, they have Dazzle to keep everyone healthy. They just have really good tools to be able to take this Roshan down. And the Roshan has the Christmas hat. Oh, it came in the update. It's back, guys. The Christmas hat is back. And go is the call. So rightly so, everyone is moving towards the Roshan pit. The right choice. The PA needs to go there though. I mean, to walk there immediately. Because without the PA, this Roshan is going to take some time. And now with the PA joining in, with that armor minus, the Roshan is going to go down pretty fast. The enemy team might actually smoke for this though. They have no plans of doing so. Invoker does have the Sunstrike. I think it did spot out things. If the Invoker comes into this... Oh, they did have a ward there, so it's going to be okay. Roshan is very low, and the PA actually cannot fight because he's low. He does have the Dazzle, so... But Dazzle has level 2 of Shadow Wave. Which is not insane amount of heal. So Lifestealer has the most hated neutral creep in the game right now.
I'll take your...
He's actually going to walk into the pit. Is he going to be able to steal Roshan? This is going to be some next level insane things. Magnus comes in with an RP onto 2 heroes. This is going to be a disaster for the Radiant team. Lifestealer goes up, immediate buyback on the Slaughter, but I mean, what can he do? The Razor is just so strong. Going after the Grimstroke as well. Bristleback is going to be in trouble now. And that's 3 heroes down, 1 buyback, and this is going to be the Bristleback going down here as well. Might be saved. The Storm misses completely, and that's Aegis popping on the Bristleback, who managed to steal it under the north of the Dire team there. He's going to be able to TP out, so they lose 4 heroes, actually 5 if you consider, actually 6 if you consider the buyback and the Aegis on the Radiant side. Just goes to show how strong the Dire team is in taking this fight. But that was definitely an interesting play from the Lifestealer. If they had done it with the smoke rather than, you know, just walking with the Ancient Creep, would have been better. So Dazzle is in a little bit of trouble here, not going to be able to get the Shadow Word off. Impel onto the Bristleback, Meteoroid missing completely. Magnus is a little bit of trouble, falling down really low. Definite Blast not going to hit anyone, but the Bristleback is going to be chasing with this Blade Mail. Sunstrike is going to low, so close, does not land on the Magnus. And the Razor is going to be in trouble. Magnus does get taken out by the Bristleback in the back line. So a good fight for the Radiant team. A very needed fight for them. Very much needed fight for them for sure. They defend the high ground. They hold it. And it's barely any chip damage on this Radiant tier 3. And Lifestealer with that Radiance is doing quite a bit of damage now on the Razor. I think BKB's Blink Dagger on the Sand King is needed. I think that will be the turning point for them, or the way that they close out the game. They need to jump on the Invoker. Invoker has been doing quite a bit of work in these engagements. Doing a little bit of split pushing as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And so one of the other problems that the PA has been having is, like, he should be having a lot more farm, but the Magnus hasn't been empowering him all the time. Wait, what? Invoke actually went back for a Hand of Midas. Thank you, Pawan, for pointing that out. I completely missed that. That's very questionable. I just commended him on doing a lot of work, and he just went in for a Midas, which is so sad because you just wasted so much of gold. It doesn't really help the team. And the Bristleback, I mean, now the Bristleback is basically farmed up enough. Oh, they are trying to take this fight. The EMP is going to be there, missing completely. Lifesteal needs to be careful. Epicenter is going to get casted. They do catch out the Invoker. Invoker is going to be in trouble, but now with the Grimstroke ultimate, they are trying to turn this around. Sand King is in trouble. Bristleback so tanky in the front line, doing a lot of damage. Oh, that Inkswell. RP looks turn it around onto heroes, but the Meteoroid demolishing the Dire team. What is happening? They lose the Sand King, they lose 4 heroes, and they might lose the Razor here as the Lifestealer wants to fight up against, but the damage from the Razor is insane. Not going to be enough. The Sunstrike is going to be there. It's a full-on team wipe on the side of the Dire team. What a comeback fight. And the Bristleback is back. Basically, he got the farm that he needs. He's so strong right now in this team fight, and the Dire team makes the mistake of just completely going on him all the time. They had, I think the Sand King had the right objective of going on the Invoker. Did the Invoker buy back in that fight? Yeah. But they were not able to finish off the kill on the Invoker, and Invoker was able to get off of quite a bit of spells during these engagements. And PA not having the BKB in that fight costed them a lot. Like, if he had the BKB, he would have been able to kill the Invoker, maybe go on the Slaughter for that matter. But we were talking about how strong the Grimstroke is. That Grimstroke ultimate is just insane. Soulbind did so much of work there for the Radiant team, just demolishing the Dire team there. So we do see this comeback potential. Normally we see teams throwing at the 40-minute mark, but rather than that, it's happening at the 27-minute mark. And signs of life for the Radiant team. So the lead just dropped down from almost 11k. How do you get the chart? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it was almost 11 to 12k lead. It just dropped down into nothing with those last 2 engagements. The high ground defense, as well as the final fight that we just saw. The Radiant team is back, boys. We might be in for quite an interesting game going forward. Meanwhile, Bristleback gets caught out. The Sand King with the Impel onto 2 heroes. A lovely Impel there. And the Bristleback is going to be in a little bit of trouble. It's trying to run away here. Razor has stolen quite a bit of damage. But he is so strong right now. They need to, if the Bristleback can get some backup here. Oh, he gets a kill onto the Sand King. Sunstrike. Oh, not enough. He gets healed up by that. Did someone use? Yeah, Earn. But they do get a return tower trade-off on the top lane. They did lose the Slaughter and the Bristleback both. But at this point, you know, whatever they can get, it is okay. They're fine. Invoker is farming. He has Midas. He's going in for a BKB. And without BKB on the Radiant side, and this is what I was talking about the Razor, right? Like, yeah, PA is really strong right now, but Razor is just not doing enough during these engagements. He's surviving, you just completely ignore the Razor, you kill the PA, you kill the rest of the heroes, and then you go after the Razor. It's just not doing enough work. Interesting item choice, the new item, the Sanjay and Yasha. Wait. Oh, this is not the new item, this is the old Sanjay and Yasha. I thought he went for the Kaya build. I'm so sorry, guys. I haven't built Sanjay and Yasha in the new patch, so I don't know what it looks like. Got completely misled. I thought it was a new item. My bad. But yeah, it's a decent item on the Razor, just because of the fact that it gives you status resistance, so you're disabled for a shorter duration, allowing you to move around freely. So he has gone for +7 damage still instead of the movement speed. I'm actually not too sure what is better out of the two. I think the movement speed would have been better, and he could build into maybe a BKB Aghanim's Refresher, you know, or maybe even a Scythe of Vice later on. They do catch out the Slada here. Slada gets taken out, getting picked off. Lovely ward picking that up.
Dead.
Kill, but this again is not translating into kills because the Invoker is farming, the Lifestealer is farming very well. He has gone in for an MKB, going in for the bash next to deal with the PA. What can the PA is actually... The Magnus needs to stay around and empower this guy because PA's farming speed is significantly lower than it should be with the Battle Fury, just because of the fact that the Magnus hasn't been empowering him. And he has fallen behind significantly. He's behind the Lifestealer and the Invoker, who are right now top net, but the Midas is right now paying off for them because the game got dragged on so much and they lost a couple of fights, and now the Midas is starting to pay off. And Invoker is right now super fat. He has 4-star Aghanims, Blink Dagger, building into that BKB next. So I think the Dire team is waiting for the next Roshan before they want to contest. Slada definitely needs a Blink Dagger. I mean, this Blink Dagger is so late and he's so under-leveled. He's level 9. Like, all the supports on either team is very high-leveled comparatively, and he's sitting at level 9. So yeah, Tom is apparently out of stock. I don't know. He bought one, I think. It's level 10 now. Still not enough. At a 32-minute mark, he should be way high leveled. But still, if he's getting farm, it's fine. Oh, there's smoke when the creep wave is pushing in. That's a very rookie mistake to make. But let's see whether they can make something out of this. Because the top lane is pushing... Oh, actually, it's getting pushed out by the Fortress. I think it's okay. It's okay, it's okay. Bottom lane is pushing in though, so they cannot rotate into the enemy jungle. They're very confused on what to do though. So the enemy team is going to smoke as well. It might be some smoke on smoke action. If the smoke doesn't break on top of the board, they might run into the Sand King here. So the smoke did break. Everyone's picking things out. This might be a huge fight. Razor walking in, gets silenced up immediately. BKB is up as well. He's going, oh, and RP onto 2 heroes. Lifestealer comes out, but is he going to be able to do enough in this fight? The PA jumps in and epicenter onto all 3 heroes. Where is the Invoker? Invoker with that EAP, they might be able to bring down the Razor. Razor falling down, Rogue gets graved up as well. Lifestealer falling down solo. That insane amount of damage from the soul and damage from Razor. 200 damage. And we're doing so much of work. Slaughter dies, the Lifestealer dies. Everyone's just falling apart. And the Invoker comes back into the fight. He wants to try and get the Razor. Razor is very low. Double kill for the PA. He brings down the Grimstroke on the sideline, and the Invoker will fall as well. Bristleback still very strong though. He does have the Blade Mail if he wants to pop it. He's holding on to it for some reason. He pops it now. Might be a little bit too late. He should have done it when the PA was jumping in, and he will get taken out. Gets the return kill onto the Razor. So it's going to be a 3-4-5 trade-off. A full-on team wipe on the side of the Radiant. Very, very clumsy fight from both teams. I think The Dire team played it a little bit better, obviously because they got the more kills out of it. But the Radiant team, that smoke that they made, the right idea in mind, but they were a little bit confused on how far they want to go with the smoke. They kind of stopped in their own jungle and was looking around, confused on what to do. Only good part about this is that they're going to be in time to defend their tier 3 tower. This is not going to translate in any way into a tower. And just gets a little bit of chip damage off. Like I said, we might be in for a really long game just because of the fact that the Dire team kind of messed up.
I'll take your tribute. Shallow wave.
Both teams are very happy to farm Sunstrike, counting out Roshan. I think Bristleback needs a Shiva's guard right now, and the Lifestealer, I don't know, man. He needs Bash. He needs a lot of items to be effective. He has the same problem that Razor has. It's just, you know. So another smoke. I think this might have been spotted out, but there were no pings going off. They do spot out the mid dazzle. Sunstrike flies out, checking Roshan again. There's a DD rune. They might actually run into the Roshan pit here. This is the fight that the Radiant team needs to take if they can manage it. Oh, they're wrapping around completely. They're so unaware that the enemy team is doing, because they just checked with the Sunstrike. But they do spot out everyone here. The Slada, oh, the RP gets cancelled. But no, he does manage to get off all three here. And the Razor is just going to go complete ham on the Slada, getting all his damage stolen. He survives down. Now the epicenter into 2 heroes. They lose 3 heroes on the side of the Radiant team. Immediate buyback from the Bristleback. The life still needs to be careful. He wants to turn around, but he's going to get taken out. But Invoker with a huge combination takes out the PA as well as the back. Now he needs to get himself out because there's so much damage stolen on the Razor. The life still needs to buy back and join this fight. They need to contest. Roshan, the life still buys back as well. Bristleback wants to go after them. Invoker needs to chase down. He does have the blink dagger if he wants to get. They are going to go on to the Dazzle, so they are going to go into the Roche Pit. Where are the buybacks from the Magnus and the Dazzle? Magnus shouldn't be buying back, but the Dazzle definitely should. They definitely need to contest this. So now the buyback from the Dazzle, it might be a little bit too late in the day. They are inside the Roche Pit. The Lifestealer might get his damage stolen. They need to be careful. PA jumps in. What damage! A huge impel onto the Invoker. Invoker buys back as well. They do get the Roshan on the Bristleback yet again. If the PA dies, the PA is dead for 100 seconds. What is happening? They might actually be able to get the Razor here. So buying back on the Sandkin. The Magnus buys back as well, but he's a little bit too late in the day. Bristleback goes down. He doesn't get the Aegis from the Slada. He's very low as well, but they are going to chase. The Invoker is here. The Impel is there to cover the retreat. The Sand King has bought back though. He wants to try and chase the Magnus here. Magnus does not they don't have vision. They do manage to bring down the Sand King as well. 3 heroes dead on the Dire team, and this is going to turn into 100% racks on the top lane. Pings going off on the middle lane. I mean, they don't need to go back to defend this. Invoker can use the Sunstrike to stop the push. He can use it on the range creep and stop the push there. And this is 100% going to be a top lane of racks. They need to be fast though. But this is the thing of time to buybacks, right? Like, the PA, the Dazzle, the Magnus, they held on to their buyback for such a long time. Allowed the enemy team to get inside the Roche Pit, get the Roshan on the Bristleback as well. And mind you, they are playing with a deficit of Bristleback. Was playing from really far behind just because of the fact that he was disconnected for majority of the game. And they get a free set of racks, maybe even tier 3 mid as well, if they really want to go with Razor stealing damage. Lifestealer cannot get his damage stolen, even inside the Invoker he's getting, and the RP gets cancelled again. They do hold the Lifestealer in place, and the Magnus will go down. The Dust is going to be there as well. That's a dieback on the Magnus. This game just completely turned on its head, and they will get 2 sets of racks for this. What just happened? What a throw from the Dire team. And Invoker with that play on the river there with that EMP, Meteoroid, Deafening Blast combination, taking out the PA, and then buying back and killing the PA again for the second time because the PA did not have the BKB. Just really good fight from the Radiant team there. They made a couple of mistakes early. They do lose the Grimstroke. I'm not sure what he was doing. and they lose the Slaughter as well. They might actually look to turn around. PA does have the BKB pop. They don't have buyback yet. Now this is the time for them to turn around. Lifesteal is out for 100 seconds. The only plus point for them is that the Invoker is there, so he's going to be able to defend for quite a long time. And they're pushed in 2 waves, so they need to push out both these creep waves to be able to push down the lane. I think the Radiant team is fine, but this is a huge advantage that they're having right now. Interesting game this is turning out to be. So for everyone who is joining from home, this is the Acer Predator League 2019 Sri Lankan qualifiers with an 800k prize pool on the line, and of course the winners will be representing Sri Lanka in Bangkok for the main event, which is the Acer Predator League. And the games have been definitely getting more and more interesting. So let's see what the DI team can get off of this. The Lifestealer is down for 40 seconds more, so they might be able to run in. They need to be careful though. They need to be able to do chip damage on this tower. Invoker with that. Oh, the RP onto the Invoker. If the Invoker dies here, this might be all over. Invoker gets control up. He managed to get the BKB off. PA chasing after the Invoker, but the Bristleback is doing so much of a cataclysm. Takes out the Sand King as well as the Magnus. They want to chase here. They might be able to get the PA manages to run off. They are trying to chase after the Razor here. Razor gets cold snapped up, but there is no follow-up damage. Razor is so fast with the Sanj and Yasha as well as the drums picked up. They might actually find the PA. PA gets pinged out. Invoker trying to chase up. He does have the Cyclone EMP. Oh no, they are not going to be able to PA props. Yeah, that's so unfortunate. PA pops the blur and is able to get away scot-free. They do manage to bring down the Sand King as well as the Magnus. They should be happy with it. This PA third skill is just broken, man. That shouldn't have happened. That was so unfortunate, but that was a really good fight for the Radiant team again. They held without the Lifestealer, and like the damage that they have inside Magnus RP, I feel like it's very mediocre because they should have been able to kill the Invoker inside that. And it's just the PA hitting because I think if they coordinated it properly, if the Magnus RP'd with the Epicenter coming in, it would have been a completely different fight. But obviously that is a very hard thing to pull off. So now they are looking to go high ground. They do know that the RP is on CD. And Bristleback, so tanky, he's just tanking everything up. You know, he has the Reaver picked up as well, which I prefer it would have been. Oh, the PA! Wait, what? Holy moly, one dart to kill off the Grimstroke. And now the Razor is going to be seeing a little bit of damage, but the link gets broken, so the Bristleback should be fine. The armor minus from the Dazzle, the bad juju. Bad juju? Bad juju? Yes, bad juju as you call it. Doing quite a bit of work on the Bristleback. Like I said, he needed a Shiva's Guard instead of Heart, I think. His HP pool is not the problem. He needs armor. Oh, Bristleback gets pulled in, but do they really want to commit so much? Slaughter blinks in to the Impale, and now the Lifestealer. Oh, and RP onto three heroes, but it is going to be enough. The Invoker is outside, doing a lot of damage. The Magnus gets graved up, and they lose multiple heroes. They lose 4 heroes, and the Invoker is the only one to get away alive. That was a really, really bad fight. They should have taken it when they realized that the RP was down. They took way too long to engage there. If they engage very much early on, that's the RP not being off CD. If they had jumped on like the PA or the Magnus or even the Sand King for that matter, it would have been a totally different fight if they started that fight a little bit earlier. So with that, round number 2 for the Dire team to go high ground here. Still, the tower is just at half HP. Lifestealer is back at 48 seconds, but the main thing here is that the Bristleback is dead, because the Bristleback has been defending quite a bit, just because of the fact that the Dire team has been committing a lot to kill him, which they shouldn't be doing, honestly. So Scythe of Vice up for the Razor as well, which is really good. If they can get the RP off onto the Invoker, control him with the Hex, and you can follow it up with the Epicenter. You don't really have to use both at the same time then, because it's just the disable duration is so high. So Invoker defending with his usual Cyclone, EMP, and Ice Wall. So Sand King is not in this fight. And the lifesteal is back up. So they don't get anything out of the fight that they took. They
I'll take your tribute.
got a little bit of farm.
Radiant
That's about it.
structures are fortified.
No, what? Did they just glyph? That is a huge misplay. So the Grimstroke actually needs to be extremely careful. One dart can actually kill him, which is insane, man. Like one skill to kill a hero. Reminds me a bit of League of Legends. Like they have skills like that does so in League of Legends. So a bit of a stalemate between the two teams. They are just sitting on this mid lane, farming each other's creep waves and basically doing nothing. Roshan should be up a while, at least. So defend is the name of the game. Bristleback needs to be careful. So Shadowblade on the Magnus, trying to get a jump in. Oh, the Sand King with the Impel, the Hex is there on the lifesteal as well, and now, oh my god, that damage from the PA. He's going to be able to go on the Bristleback as well. Bristleback can jump buyback on the lifesteal. Lifesteal wants to join the fight. Invoker goes in for the combination. PKB Pog with the Meteorite, Deafening Blast on multiple heroes. What a play by him. Cataclysm going to be there. Not going to hit anyone. Does it the Sand King? They are not going to be able to get anything, and now a huge RP from the Magnus. Going to turn around. The Invoker is dead for 125. He bites back immediately. Lifesteal trying to fight up against the PA, but he cannot. He managed to go inside, and the burst from the Infest takes out the PA, and now they want to go on to the Magnus. Magnus graving himself up from the grave from the Dazzle, saving him for the time, but he's going to get taken out. But they do hold, they do lose their mid tier 3, but with those buybacks on multiple heroes, they do manage to hold. So now they are going to go inside the Rosh pit, which is the right choice. They need to go take Roshan immediately and go force the buyback on the enemy team. But they need to do this fast. They need this. Where is the lifesteal? Okay, they need to come there fast. So it's going to be a very fast rush just because the amp from the slaughter. And the scan is going to catch out the fact that they are doing Roshan. PA is not opting to buyback. They don't have the Magnus RP, neither do they have the Epicenter, which is going to be a hard fight for them. But Jesus, that damage from the PA, like Lifestealer got 3 hitter down there. Holy crap.
Roshan has fallen
As Aegis cheese and Refresher, so the Aegis is going to be on the Invoker as well as the Refresher. Lifestealer with the cheese, obviously. And they need to force a buyback. Like, I'm not sure why they're not going right now. They need to force a buyback because they can take this melee at least.
Dire's top shrine.
What a game this is turning out to be. 47 minutes into the game. Anyone's game. 5k net worth lead. Like, net worth means nothing. Buyback is everything. Let's check the buyback status. So Reza has it, PA has it.
Top shrine is under attack.
The Radiant does not have it. So right now they're trying to, clear out a couple of shrines, get a little bit of map control, get some wards down. They really need the Radiant team really needs some wards down. How much of wards do they have? They have 1 ward on the Grimstroke. Bit of dewarding being done. Let's see what they are going to do. So Heart picked up. Like I said, not the best item. They need a Shiva's Guard for sure to deal with the PA, who is doing just insane amount of damage. So lines being drawn by the Invoker. He wants the enemy team to, he wants his team to push the bottom lane. So now, the Dire team does smoke. The Grimstroke might get caught out here. PA. Poink. Dead? No. Okay, it does not crit. Sand King uses this, the dust. They want to go on to, but the Sand King, this is a huge mistake. Out beyond to two heroes is going to be enough though. Where is the PA? PA is not even in the fight. And Invoker with the combination, he's going in for the EMP as well as the Tornado. And Abyssal up is the Razor. Razor might go down here, but he's going to be able to get away. The BKB is up out now. The Invoker turns around with the Cataclysm as well as the Meteorite. Immediately takes out the Magnus. Magnus is out of the fight, and now the PA is fighting up against the Bristleback. Bristleback is not the target that you want to go on. The Razor might be in trouble. He does get rid up for the time being, but the PA is going to go down here. PA goes down. PA does have the buyback. He has to buy back immediately if they want to defend, but they do not have the RP. They do not have the epicenter. This is an extremely bad fight for the Dire team. This is go time for the Radiant team. They need to go high ground now. They need to take the pickoffs here. Magnus with the Shadow Blade, he's walking forward. There is no center to catch him out, but he does not have the RP. He drags the Life Stealer in. He's going to turn around with the Rage, trying to go up onto the Magnus, and Invoker jumps in with the BKB. He does not get the heads off. He does get bursted down. That's just the Aegis though. He should be fine. He does not get the hex off, but in the meantime, Magnus is fighting up again. Invoker needs to be careful. He force-stuffs himself down, and now with the Cyclone EMP onto the PA. PA gets hexed up as well. This might be a dead PA. If the PA dies here, he does not have the buyback, but there is no one else hitting the PA. Lifesteal is completely somewhere else, going up after the Razor. He does not have the damage. 12 damage has been stolen. He's getting more damage stolen. He gets hexed up as a Cataclysm, not going to do anything. Daryl bites back as well. The PA is still very, very low. He can actually heal back up and come. And now all this time, the TA, no one is taking the tier 3 tower here. And they lose the Lifestealer, who is down for 112 seconds. And Bristleback goes down there as well. They do at least manage to get the tier 3 tower. What a messy fight. I mean, they're going on multiple targets. They're not coordinated at all. Invoker messed up massively there. He did not get the hex off with that Sunstrike that he was going in for. He jumped in trying to, like, he had the right idea in mind, like, because if he had got the hex off here when he jumped in onto the PA and his team followed up with him, it would have been a game over for the Dire team, but he messed up, and after that the Radiant team just kept on going, which in the end just lost them the fight. So Invoker right now, he is going for a Shiva's Guard, which is the right choice. They needed a Shiva's Guard, but probably he should have gone for the Refresher and given the Shiva's Guard build to the the Bristleback. What a game this is turning out to be. But the thing is, both teams, the supports are very underfound. I mean, for a 51-minute game, this is inexcusable. Like, these heroes need to have way more farm than they are having right now. And even the Magnus for that matter, like, what does he have? He has Crimson Shadow Blade and Blink Dagger at the 51-minute mark. It's very mediocre farm on an offlane hero. Magnus walking in, he does get hexed up. Oh, the Grimstroke ultimate, the Soul Bind is there, but the hex onto the Invoker. Invoker needs to be careful, damage getting stolen up. They do defend for the time being. Hexes are on CD. Magnus does have the RP, they do use the Glyph. Top lane is getting pushed in as well, so they need to clear this up fast. The Bristleback is up in 4 seconds. The Lifestealer is there in 15. They do lose the ranged racks. They will lose the melee as well. The Lifestealer walking in, and they are going to back off. So they do get the racks on the mid lane. So Sand can TP it back to defend, which is the right choice. They have lost one of their tier 4s. Where's the TPing up? So this is go time, right? Like, you smoke up immediately and try to get a pick off if you are the Radiant team. Especially key heroes like the Magnus, who bought back and does not have buyback, or even the PA for that matter. But PA, at least you can kill him. Like, if the Magnus isn't there, I don't think PA is as big of a threat. Because the PA is able to do the damage that he's doing with the Empower and the RP. So if the RP isn't there, I think the Dire team just loses the fight. So people are picking out the Radiant team. They want to smoke, which is the right choice. They're missing one hero. Oh, okay. Oh no, Lifesteal is inside the Bristleback. Okay, so they do smoke, but the entirety of the Dire team is inside the base. So unless they step out, but they have to be careful. I don't think the Dire team will step out. If they do and they get caught out, it's a huge mistake. They don't have buybacks. But in their defense, neither does the Radiant team, but their buybacks are cooling off faster.
Radiant
The
are
Strada is getting
scanning.
buyback in 9 seconds. The Lifestealer is getting buyback in 205 gold. They're scouting the bottom. Scan, not catching out anyone. So the smoke does not do anything for them. Roshan is going to take a little bit more time. No, Lifesteal is going for a heart. Come on, man, you need to go for an AC. That's not the item that you should be going for. Like armor, guys, you need to build armor.
Gold for my master. Illusion.
Things are settling down a bit again. What will these two teams do? Will they wait for the next Roshan or will they go? But I mean, hats off to the Radiant team, the comeback that they made into this game, having a really bad start just because the Bristleback was, disconnected the entire time. And I think having a draft that is dire favored, I would say, just because of the hero composition that they had other than the Razor pickup, which was supposed to win the lane but did not win the lane as hard as he was supposed to. And even the mid lane, like, they should have won that mid lane. The PA should have destroyed the Invoker. But Invoker got farm. Invoker is very strong now. Look at almost as if she was just holding on to the buyback for time being. PA is getting buyback in 1.5 minutes. So this is like, they need to take a fight now. I think if they wait for buybacks, it's just going to be a rinse and repeat of the same thing. They buy back, these guys buy back as well. Like both teams buy back, and it's going to rinse and repeat the entire time. So looking to go high ground here, the Dire team, sorry, the Radiant team. If they can get a jump off onto the Razor at least. The problem is, the Bristleback is melee, the Slada is melee, the Lifestealer, the Slada and the Bristleback, all three are melee, right? So you jump in on a hero, like you're 100% going to get RP'd. Like it's 100% going to be such an easy RP for the Magnus. He's going to get a minimum of 2 in these RPs, and that's all he needs to do. He just needs to get at least 2 in these RPs. So Bristleback standing in the front, like going after that range Rex. Gets hexed up. He needs to be careful though. Slada blinks in, crush onto one hero though. Slada gets taken out immediately. Epicenter is going to be there only on one hero. Invoker needs to be careful. Grimstroke glimmers himself. They want to turn around. Lifestealer falling down so low here. Gets Abyssal as well. He is dead.
Dire's middle tower.
He is dead, and now the RP onto the Invoker. Invoker will get taken out here as well. They lose 4 triple kill for the PA. What just happened? What just
Dire's
happened?
middle tower is under attack.
They were doing so well, and they messed up. And now it's Dire team's turn to come back into the game. Back and forth battle between the two teams. It's just... So they are going to be pushing the bottom tier 3 tower. Maybe force buyback, at least on 2-3 heroes, or maybe on the entire team. Bristleback buys back, that is the right choice. I think that's the first hero that needs to buy back and, kind of try and defend. Slada is spawning. I think the Invoker should buy back as well. They think the Lifestealer doesn't have buyback, so Lifestealer should buy back and TP in. Multiple buybacks, they do. Oh, no, that's not how you do the buyback play. No. Oh, the Cyclone is going to catch out the Razor. If they can get the Razor here. Razor does have the BKB. He's going to be able to force stuff himself forward. No. That's not how it should have happened. And now the buybacks are done and they get nothing out of it. So the Dire team can actually go into Roche, try and do Roche, take a Roche fight. And if they are, it looks like they're losing the Roche fight, they can immediately buy back up and come back into the fight, which the enemy team cannot do. So this is Roche time for them. PA actually walks in, casually doing Roche. sitting at 12,000 HP. Refresher orb or up for grabs for the Magnus, I think. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So the Radiant team is smoked. Oh, the scan actually spots them out. This might be the game-ending moment here. They are on. Shut up, as well. This is going to be one instant fight. Magnus looking for the jump in. He goes walking in. He does not. He gets the RP onto two heroes. PA is going to jump in on both heroes as well. Slaughter gets taken out immediately. Oh, he's actually still surviving there. He goes down immediately, down for 100 seconds. Life still getting controlled up as well. He goes down for 122. Invoker not being able to do much, and this might be game over. And that's the closing out fight basically. 4 heroes dead. Invoker the sole survivor. Top lane is pushing in though. They need to send someone back. Tier 4 getting taken out here. Dazzle TP him back. Glyph is going to get used as well. So what the Invoker can do is he can TP in there, force everyone to get back there. Invoker needs to TP there. He needs to get BOT and go there immediately. Invoker, come on man. You need to make that play for the team.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They lose bottom tier 3 towers as well. They can straight end. They can force the straight end here. They are going to go to work on the tier 4 towers. Invoker should have TP'd to those creeps much earlier. No, Invoker. You had the chance to save the game. And this is basically going to be game over, I think. Going to work on the tier 4 towers as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's Ancient is under attack. Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
Sorry about that, guys. My mic randomly stopped working. So there you have it, guys. Team Origins takes home the victory. It was a tough fought game for them, 1 hour plus. There were moments that, you know, the Radiant team could have come back, but they just made too many mistakes. But I think hats off to them for putting up such a good fight after having such a bad early start. And I think the Invoker played out of his mind, did as much as possible. I think he could have made one final play to try and, you know, save the game. He should have TP down to the top lane, force someone else to come back, and he could have got the kill on the Dazzle there. Force like at least 1 or 2 heroes, because I think